Right, guys, the light heavyweight division in the UK is kicking off, is heating up. What is going down? Who is the king of the light heavyweight division in the UK? Is it Lyndon Arthur? Is it Joshua Buatsi? Is it Yard? Is it Johnson? Is it Craig Richards? What say you? What is your 2 cents on this one? What do you guys think? Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me see what you guys think. What did the KO boxing fibers think about the British light heavyweight division? Is it Joshua Buatsi? A lot of people are jumping on the Buatsi camp. He had a spectacular knockout victory over Bolotniks on the weekend. Arguably his toughest fight, European, I would say, kind of level fight. Some people say Anthony Yard is a better fighter because he made a good, decent account of himself against a top elite opponent like Sergei Kovalev. Some people say Lyndon Arthur is the better fighter right now because Lyndon Arthur beat Anthony Yard. That even though Yard had a good performance against Kovalev, some people say Craig Richards is the better fighter because he's fought, a good, tremendous amount of British fights coming up through the ranks, beating guys who are 12-0. No losses on their record. He knocked out Shakan Peters in devastating fashion. Fought Dimitri Bivol, and lost on a very, very, very close scorecard. I think he lost like 115, 114, 115, 113, and 118, 110. I think I'm trying to remember the scorecard on top of my head, but I believe that was the scorecard. Craig Richards made a fantastic account of himself. Caught Dimitri Bivol with some shots, and Bivol definitely his attention definitely got caught by them shots. So nobody should be sleeping on Craig Richards, acting as if just because he lost to Dimitri Bivol, a world champion in his own right. Craig Richards, don't sleep on this guy. Don't sleep on the Craig Richards. Don't sleep on the punching power. Don't sleep on the jab. Don't sleep on the spider. So, for what do you guys think? I want to know what you guys are saying on this one because for me, a lot of these fighters are very close. In terms of their spectrum, no one's really distinct themselves and say this is the guy that's on the top. For me, it's all been semantics and games. It's pretty much been about who's been marketed better. For me, out of all these guys, Joshua Buatsi has been marketed. He's got the 258 management with AJ. He's got Eddie Hearn, Matchroom. They've looked at him and said, "Listen, we think this guy could be the next like light heavyweight AJ or something like that." I can see it because if you look at it, Craig Richards fought Bivol. If Joshua Buatsi was going to fight Bivol, watch the marketing would be completely different. It's all about selling. If you look at the track records of, let's say, a Craig Richards, for example, I think Craig Richards he's fought better fighters than Joshua Buatsi has, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, up till now, I think Craig Richards fought better fighters. He lost to Dimitri Bivol, but Buatsi hasn't fought anyone of Dimitri Bivol's level for us to know that if he can even beat a Bivol. Just because you look good against some ulterior fighters. That guy, who's that guy that Buatsi fought previously? Is it Daniel Belenda dos Santos? That you beat Dos Santos. You know, who else did he beat? Ryan Ford. A guy who already had 4 losses. Was it 2018? Tony Avalan. The guy had 10 losses. These are not guys that are unbeaten. These are guys that are used to taking punishment, used to losing. What is really pushing Joshua Buatsi is pretty much the selling. It's the Olympic it's the Olympic medalist. He obviously won a medal, at the Olympics, just like AJ. And I can't remember what medal he actually won. I have to go back and double check that. I can't remember the top of my head, but I know he definitely won a medal at the Olympics. And once you win a medal at the Olympics, it's kind, they just push you and sell you, as the next best thing since sliced bread. You know how it goes. But I actually feel like for me, I actually put Craig Richards at number one, not based on people's perceptions. People's get confused. Their perceptions and facts are two different things. People's perceptions, Boatsi's number one because his knockouts look great and he's stopping people. But who's he stopping? You know, Craig Richards stopped. What's his name? Shakan Peters is better than a lot of people on Joshua Buatsi's record. He's better than a lot of people there. Bolotniks arguably is his best victory right now, and obviously that knockout was a fantastic knockout. But at least for me, I've seen Craig Richards tested against a Bivol. I've seen Anthony Yarde tested against a Kovalev. And Lyndon Arthur. Let me jump into Lyndon Arthur now because Lyndon Arthur obviously he beat Anthony Yarde. I still need to see a bit more from Lyndon Arthur before I start saying this guy's in the top three or top two right now. Because for me, Lyndon Arthur obviously he beat Anthony Yarde, but if he comes back in a rematch and beats Anthony Yarde again, then I'm like, okay, Lyndon Arthur's like a bit more on the top echelons on the light heavyweights in the UK because I don't know if it's the tactics of Yarde that allowed Lyndon Arthur to do what he did, or if it's just Lyndon Arthur just better than Anthony Yarde, just plain and simple, So that's a bit of a complicated one. I need to still wait and see what happens in the rematch. Callum Johnson. Let me jump into Callum Johnson. Callum Johnson is actually quite interesting because no one's really talking about him as much as the Buatsis and Yard. Again, I believe that's more to do with marketing. And as I said before, people are very impressionable. The more you hear the pundits talking about Buatsi or BT talking about Anthony Yard, everyone's going to have the perception that these are the two main guys, irrespective of what their resume is. Because what is Anthony Yard's resume? He fought Kovalev, but who else did he fight? He ain't fought, he hasn't fought anybody apart from Kovalev. He hasn't fought anyone like a Bolotniks, like Buatsi's fought. He hasn't fought anyone like a Kalic, that Buatsi's fought. He hasn't even fought someone like a Shakan Peters, that Craig Richards has fought, and actually won. So he fought Lyndon Arthur, arguably his second hardest fight behind Kovalev, and he couldn't get it done. So I need to see a little bit more from Anthony Yard before to see if he can dispatch of Lyndon Arthur. He did look in the end of the Lyndon Arthur fight. If you put pressure on Lyndon Arthur, there's a very good chance you could get Lyndon Arthur potentially out of there. But then again, Lyndon Arthur wasn't able to really let off his right hand. I believe he had an injury in that fight, so we don't know the kind of power that Lyndon Arthur is carrying. So again, I think that fight is a 50-50 fight, and we need to see what happens, man. But Callum Johnson, like I said, I would definitely like to see Callum Johnson in there with any four of these guys. He's got the punching power to cause any of these guys a lot of problems, particularly people who someone like Buatsi, like he stands is the head movement's not the greatest and things like that. So the worst thing you can do is have a more stationary target to get banged on the chin by. But I suspect that Joshua Buatsi going into that kind of fight would definitely be what do you call it, prepared in that sense of sparring and things like that. But to be honest, overall we can be here from here to tomorrow talking about who beats who and who doesn't beat who. But a lot of the majority of these guys, they're all in and around each other's level. For me, the only thing really distinct is who's been pushed more than others. And I believe the top two really being pushed right now is Joshua Buatsi and Anthony Yard for me. But Craig Richards, don't sleep on Craig Richards. Craig Richards' jab and Lyndon Arthur's jab, definitely a problem in the light heavyweight division. But drop your comments in the comment section below. Who is the king on the top dog? The top dog, bruv. Let me know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think. Who's the top dog in the UK light heavyweight scene? Craig Richards, Buatsi, Lyndon Arthur, Anthony Yard, Callum Johnson. Who is it? We can be here from here to tomorrow talking about it, going on about who's the best, who's not the best. Let's get the fight on. Let's get the fights happening. Again, another fighter like I mentioned at the beginning. I want to see Dan Azeez. Dan Azeez, man, is a tank, bruv. I don't even know. Like sometimes he doesn't even look like a light heavyweight. He's massive, massive dude, bro. Dan Azeez, I didn't see. Dan Azeez get unload one of them big combinations that he does. Lets those hands go on Yard, Callum Johnson, Craig Richards, Joshua Buatsi, Lyndon Arthur. Can he get these man out of here? Let's get the big fights on. I know. Dan Azeez, he's ready to fight anybody. So it'll be interesting, man. Maybe we're talking about a top six now, not a top five. And I'm very sure Dan Azeez will put himself in the top five at this point. So, man, big fights. The longer this goes on, the more it's gonna be brewing. But let's see what happens, man. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Light heavyweight division, the UK, who's on top? Cool.